Good Shabbos. This week we're actually reading a double portion. That is, throughout the year we read part of the Torah so as to read the whole Torah throughout the year. Sometimes we have more parshas than we have Shabbatot. Today the parsha is doubled Netzavim and Vayelech. And this double parsha sounds so many of the themes that are hallmarks of our Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur season. We are entering this period of the new year, the end of one year and the beginning of another, when everything is held in the balance. It's a time of, as you know, a time of introspection, atonement, repentance, and forgiveness. In fact, Rosh Hashanah is much more about judgment than Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur is actually, when you look at the prayers, is much more about forgiveness. But these are all the questions and the issues which set the conditions that will shape the upcoming year. And even as we're going through that process, at the same time, we're reading through this Torah cycle, and it never fails to amaze me that the readings of the Torah that we reach at this time of year mirror what we're going through in the season. So as we enter this season, focused on all these themes, we read in Deuteronomy 30, an important passage, beginning in verse 9. And the Lord your God will make you overabundant in all the work of your hand, and in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your cattle, and in the fruit of your land for the good. For Adonai will again rejoice over you for good, as God rejoiced over your ancestors, if you shall listen to the voice of the Lord your God, to keep God's commandments and God's statutes, which are written in this book of the Torah. If you turn unto Adonai your God with all of your heart and all of your soul. Ki ha-mitzvah hazot asher anochi hayom mitzavcha hayom lo niflati. For this commandment, which I command you this day, it's not too hard for you, nor is it far off. It is not in heaven that you should say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it to us and make us to hear it, that we may do it. Neither is it beyond the sea that you should say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it to us and make it so that we can hear it, that we may do it. But the word is very close to you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. See, I have set before you this day life and good, and death and evil, in that I command you this day to love Adonai your God, to walk in God's ways, to keep God's commandments and God's statutes and God's ordinances. Then you shall live and multiply, and the Lord your God shall bless you in the land where you go in to possess it. But if your heart turns away and you will not listen, you'll not hear, you'll not shema, not shomea, but shall be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I declare to you this day that you shall not live, you shall not prolong your days upon the land where you pass over the Jordan to go in to possess it. So I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day that I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore, choose life, that you may live, you and your seed, to love the Lord your God, to listen to God's voice, and to cleave, to stick to God. For that is your life and the length of your days, that you may dwell in the land which Adonai swore to your ancestors, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. A lot there, a lot contradictory, it might seem. But the key call, choose life that you may live. That's the basic call of Torah, life. Choose well, choose life, act well, and be good for your own good. And if you think it's too much, it's not. If you read it as too hard, then you're probably reading it incorrectly. For it is not in heaven, nor is it across the sea. So, don't give up. You must continue to try. It's not too hard. And what comes to mind is that teaching from Pirkei Avot, Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. It is not up to you to complete the task, V'lo ata ben chorin lehibatal mimena. But nor are you free to keep from trying. It's not up to you to complete the task. It's not up to you to be perfect. It's just to keep on striving. Not up to you to complete the task, but nor are you to keep from trying. The most basic thing we do need in order to try, though, is learning. Keep on trying to learn. Keep on trying to remember, to recall, and to do. And this leads to one more passage, which is in the second of these two readings, in Deuteronomy 31, Vayakel. And Moses wrote this Torah and delivered it unto the priests, the sons of Levi, that bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and unto all the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the set time of the year of release, that's the sabbatical year, in the feast of Sukkot, the feast of tabernacles, when all Israel has come to appear before the Lord your God, in the place which God shall choose, you shall read this Torah before all Israel in their hearing. Assemble the people, the men and the women and the little ones, and the stranger that is within your gates, that they may hear and that they may learn and revere the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of this Torah, and that their children who have not known may hear and learn to revere the Lord your God as long as you live in the land where you go over to the Jordan to possess it. And later in the Tanakh, we actually find another section, Nehemiah chapter 8, where an entire Torah reading is described. They're actually living out that, maybe it's a once in a 7-year reading. It says, when the 7th month arrived, and this is after the return, after the Babylonian exile. When the 7th month arrived, the Israelites being settled in their towns, the entire people assembled as one man in the square before the water gate, and they asked Ezra the scribe to bring the scroll of the Torah of Moses, with which the Lord had charged Israel. On the first day of the 7th month, which is Rosh Hashanah, first day of the 7th month, Ezra the priest brought the Torah before the congregation, men and women and all who could listen with understanding. He read from it, facing the square before the water gate, from the first light until midday. To the men and the women and those who could understand, the ears of all the people were given to the scroll of the teaching. To read the Torah into everyone's hearing. So Rosh Hashanah has 3 other names besides Rosh Hashanah, head of the year. Yom HaTruah, the day of the blowing of the horn. Yom Hadin, the day of judgment. It's always interesting, the day of judgment comes at the end of each year. And Yom HaZikaron, the day of remembrance. Remember, that is why we study, in order to remember. the acts there, the motion there then is introspection and repentance, tshuva, which also means return, but also forgiveness. And the color associated with forgiveness is white. So the season is white. The color of the season is white. So I'd like us to do two things here. I'd like us to sing a song, learn a song in English, and then as we're singing the song, I would like us to change the Torah covers to white, because the song is about atonement, about return, about introspection, about returning to what our soul already wants to be, the understanding that our souls somehow are connected to God and want to be with God. But we've just gotten a little out of joint. We got to go to the spiritual chiropractor a little bit and get realigned. And the Torah covers are, the white is about forgiveness. So the song, some of you may know it, return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Could someone get up and take out the white Torah covers? Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are born and reborn and reborn. Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova.